Stalking bitches versus chasing bitches. Now, a lot of motherfuckers is listening right now and they like, stalking bitches. You know what I'm saying? That just sound like I'm standing outside of a bitch house with a telescope trying to see a bitch naked. And, you know, I'm following a bitch around on some creep type of shit, man. You know? That's not what I'm talking about, man. When I'm talking about stalking a bitch, man, I'm talking about like being aware of a bitch, a prospective bitch, being aware of that bitch. Like, let's say you work in a where you work at, office building, and you know you notice a bitch across the street working that building, and she look real good, and you want to meet that bitch. So you might notice that bitch. You might notice her patterns. You know, you might notice where the bitch go eat lunch at. You might notice where the bitch go get some coffee at. You might notice how the bitch always walk down the street right here or whatever. Now, smooth stalking of a bitch would be to place yourself in a situation where you bump into the bitch. You understand me? And you able to get the bitch attention at that moment when you want to bump into her, when you ready. You understand me? And you able to holler at the bitch and get at the bitch. You understand me? See, like, perhaps you may even be able to, from watching a bitch from a distance, you might even notice some of the things she likes. You might be able to put together a file on a bitch. You understand me, of information, and then be able to use it to your advantage when you want to integrate yourself into that bitch's life and make the process more easier. You understand me? Like, you know, the Bossmack topsoil bins corners all around LA, man, and I might notice a bad bitch at this restaurant or at that coffee shop, or a bad bitch that I notice over here at this place. You know what I'm saying? And then I might float back through those places, you know, with different gear on or something, and then, you know, then I holler at the bitch when I'm ready for the bitch to see me, you know, and then I'm most successful. You understand me? Or maybe I notice a bitch 2 or 3 times before I speak to the bitch. You know what I'm saying? So I've gained some knowledge and insight into the bitch. I've noticed things about the bitch. I might be able to comment on the bitch's hair or her style of dress. You know, I notice a certain consistency in her gear, and I'm able to speak on that shit. You see what I'm saying? That's successfully stalking a bitch. Now, chasing a bitch is bad. Chasing a bitch is like, oh, I done got a bitch's number, and, you know, I'm trying to talk to the bitch, and the bitch ain't really got no time for me, so I'm calling the bitch 15, 20 times a day and shit. You understand me? That's chasing the bitch. Or yeah, I know this bitch works over here, and I'm continuously going over there asking the bitch to go out over and over again. Would you go out with me? Would you go out? That's chasing the bitch. That's irritating the bitch. That's making the bitch want you to get the fuck away from her. You understand me? It's a difference between chasing a bitch and stalking a bitch. You chase a bitch, when you pull the bitch, it's gonna be weak. It's gonna be weak. But if you stalk a bitch, it's gonna be solid. You're gonna pull a bitch. You're gonna pull the bitch convincingly right into the stable. But anyway,